$5,000 a month, 9 animals, 1 spare bedroom, no land, no barn, no permit to begin, 0 experience on day 1. But here is the part most videos bury, so I am putting it first. That $5,000 is not what one animal pays you next month. It is the stacked aggregate, all 9 streams running together, built out after years of work. Anyone who tells you 1 shelf of bugs or 1 tub of snakes prints $5,000 by next Tuesday is lying, and the comments always catch them. In month 1, each of these solo is far less, sometimes pocket money, sometimes a loss. So why do these 9 slip past the rules that kill normal livestock dreams at the zoning office? Because the federal government does not classify most of them as livestock. They are pets, feeders, or ornamentals. That federal classification does not override your HOA, your lease, or your state. So before any of the math, one rule, repeated all the way down. Check your city ordinance, your state rules, and your HOA covenant. The loophole is real. It is also not a free pass. We count down from 9 to 1, and number 1 is the one I would start tomorrow. Number 9. The praying mantis. Specifically, the photogenic ones, ghost and orchid mantises, that sell for real money to a small, obsessed hobby market. Almost nobody raises them, and there are 2 honest reasons. The pretty species are federally permit-gated, which scares off casual buyers and sellers alike. And you literally cannot scale them, because they eat each other. Here is the real math. To start honestly, on one shelf you spend $150 to $400, breeding stock, deli cups, fruit fly cultures, a heat mat, and shipping supplies if you mail. Ongoing runs $20 to $60 a month, mostly live feeders you can culture yourself. A typical good month for a solo beginner is around $150 net, with a realistic band of $50 to $300, and that is after 3 to 6 months of learning losses. Longtime breeders say it plainly. There is no known case of anyone living off mantises alone. This is pocket money, and the ceiling is capped because every nymph needs its own cup and hand feeding. You cannot grow output without growing your own hours. Your 2 best buyers as a beginner, the Mantid Forum Classifieds at mantidforum.net, and live insect listings on Etsy, plus local reptile expos where you sell in person and skip shipping risk entirely. The established shops mostly breed their own stock, so do not count on wholesaling to them. Now the sharpest legal landmine. The native Carolina mantis you can keep and ship freely across the lower 48 with no permit. But orchid and ghost mantises are non-native, and they federally require a USDA APHIS PPQ 526 permit to move across state lines. It is illegal to sell those exotics to a buyer who does not hold one. Anyone listing orchid mantis nymphs ships anywhere without that permit is breaking federal law. Correct the hype out loud. Nobody gets rich at $450 a mantis because that is the rare top adult. Real nymphs sell for $20 to $65, and you lose a chunk of every clutch to cannibalism. Check your city, HOA, and state on top of the federal rule. That brings us to number 8. Number 8. Silkworms. The soft white feeder worm reptile keepers pay a premium for because they are nutritious and harder to find than crickets. Hardly anyone raises them to sell, and the reason is a single plant. Silkworms eat only mulberry, nothing else. So your whole business is chained to a leaf supply most people simply do not have. The real math here is a trap, so I will be blunt. Startup is cheap, $80 to $200, because the eggs are nearly free, and the cost is just trays, a heat mat, and your first chow. Ongoing is where it bites. $15 to $60 a month if you buy store chow, near zero if you have a free mulberry tree. The honest monthly net for a solo beginner is $0 to $150 and genuinely negative in winter if you buy chow. Treat anything over $200 as the exception that requires free mulberry and an established buyer. This is a supplement, not income. Your two realistic buyers, local reptile keepers, the bearded dragon and chameleon owners in Facebook reptile groups, and local herp expos where you sell in person. The big farms, coastal silkworms and mulberry farms, are your competitors, not your customers. They undersell you. Now the chow cost trap, which is the killer. Silkworms eat only mulberry, fresh leaves, or mulberry chow at $12 to $29 a pound. Off-season, the chow alone can cost 5 to 20 cents per worm, which can equal or exceed what you sell the worm for. So the business secretly inverts in winter. You can be paying to produce worms you then sell at a loss. Profit only exists if you have a free, mature mulberry tree. No free mulberry, no margin. The legal side is gentle here because Bombyx mori is fully domesticated and cannot survive in the wild, so no APHIS permit is needed to ship across the continental U.S. But Florida lists it as a permitted feeder, meaning a state process exists, so check your county and state ag department before selling. Correct the hype. That $1 a worm figure is small count retail with the seller shipping and labor baked in. In bulk, you get 10 to 25 cents. Number 7. Hornworms. The fat blue-green worms that sell for $11.50 a cup as a premium reptile treat. Two filters keep nearly everyone out, and they are exactly why the margin looks good on paper. It is a regulated agricultural pest, and it spoils on a clock you cannot stop. Real math. A genuine breeding colony costs $150 to $400 to start. A kit with eggs, chow, rearing cups, and a breeding cage to close the loop. Ongoing is heavy. A working colony runs $80 to $150 a month, dominated by chow. A peer-reviewed rearing protocol pegs 500 larvae at roughly $100 a month plus your labor. Honest monthly net for a solo beginner in year 1 is $80 to $300, and that is before you value your own time. Even at premium prices, you sell low volume, you eat chow, an overnight shipping cost, and you lose stock that outgrows feeder size on a 30-day clock. Many hobbyists net roughly break even selling locally. Your two buyers, independent reptile and exotics pet shops, and reptile expo tables, because shipping live, fast-spoiling worms overnight is the part that eats your margin. The sharpest landmine is perishability you cannot pause. Egg to moth is only about 30 days. Worms blow past usable size in days, and you cannot fridge them. Standard fridge temps kill them in minutes to a couple of days. So every cup is a melting asset that must sell and ship overnight while small. On top of that, the legal edge. Manduca sexta is not on APHIS's exempt feeder list because the wild form is a recognized pest, so moving them across state lines technically needs that PPQ 526 permit, and APHIS says apply 4 to 6 months ahead. You cannot ship to Hawaii or Alaska, and Alabama restricts them. Correct the hype. Easy passive side income hides a 30-day clock, a no-freeze inventory problem, and pest shipping rules. And only ever sell the captive-bred chow-raised strain, never garden-collected hornworms. Those carry pathogens and are the pest the law targets. Check your State Department of Agriculture. Number 6. Springtails. Tiny cleanup insects that eat mold in terrariums, sold as a bioactive cleanup crew for $10 a culture. Here is what nobody tells you. The profit does not live in the bug, which is almost free to raise. It lives entirely in your shipping and your dead-on-arrival policy. And that is the part every cute video skips. The real math is a volume grind. Startup is genuinely low, $150 to $400, a starter colony or two, plus cups, substrate, and shipping supplies. You can start under $200 on one shelf. But ongoing is $30 to $120 a month. And here is the twist. The recurring spend is packaging and cold chain shipping, not the animals. Insulated boxes, heat and cold packs, and priority postage at $9 to $15 a parcel. Feed is pennies. The honest monthly net is $50 to $300, and most months sit at the low end. Cultures retail for $10 to $20, but after the platform fee, the cup, the heat pack, and shipping, you net roughly $5 to $12 of true margin per culture. So $300 means packing and shipping 30 to 50 live orders that month. Real labor, real losses. Your two buyers? Direct-to-consumer on Etsy and eBay, both with active Springtail listings, and local reptile expos, which skip the shipping heat problem entirely. The landmine is summer transit. Vendors only guarantee live arrival roughly between 30 and 85 degrees, so June through August brings dead-on-arrival claims, refunds, and reships that quietly eat your margin in exactly the months people buy most. Calling it passive is the lie. On legality, name the hard edge honestly. APHIS technically requires that PPQ 526 permit to move plant pests like springtails across state lines. Widely unenforced in the hobby, but still the law, so say so. Hawaii is a hard wall. Never ship there. And here is a correction that protects you. Never market springtails as a pesticide. They are detritivore janitors, not a registered pest control product, and calling them a pesticide is a false claim that can drag you into EPA labeling trouble. Sell them as a cleanup crew, period. Number 5. Society and zebra finches. Small, cheerful aviary birds that sell for $15 to $50 each. We are leaving the bugs now, and the numbers get a little bigger, but so does the trouble. The math is unromantic, and there is a foster parent trap that can quietly blow up your reputation. Real math. Startup is $300 to $700 for cages, a few pairs, and feed. Ongoing is $25 to $60 a month in feed and occasional vet cost. The honest beginner net is rough. Roughly $0 to $150 a month in year 1, and genuinely $0 to $50 for many people. Birds sell for $15 to $50 each. Clutches are small, not every pair breeds, and you eat feed and vet the whole time. A realistic setup of 3 to 5 productive pairs makes a few sellable birds a month after you keep replacements. This is pocket money that offsets the hobby, not a salary. Do not promise hundreds a month from a spare room. Your two buyers, local bird marts and avicultural society shows, the cash, no shipping bread and butter, and independent bird stores that buy or take consignment, like New York Bird Supply in the Bronx. The chains buy through distributors, not from a hobby breeder, so do not count on them. Now the landmines, 2 of them. First, the foster parent trap. Society finches are prized as foster parents for harder species like Gouldians, which sounds like easy demand. But foster societies routinely transmit pathogens that kill the very chicks they raise, so that reputation can blow up when a buyer's clutch dies. Second, the legal edge. Most leases and HOAs ban aviaries outright, even indoors, and you legally cannot ship birds across state lines without checking each state's health certificate and dealer licensing rules. The good news, these are common domestic birds, not CITES listed, so no endangered species paperwork, and APHIS exempt sellers of 200 or fewer small birds a year. Correct the hype. Finches breed themselves is false. Many pairs never nest, chicks die, and they breed best in quiet colonies with good calcium. Budget for pairs that produce nothing. Check your city, HOA, and state. Number 4. Number 4. Betta breeding. Specifically, the show quality and rare lines, Koi, Galaxy, and Nemo, where a single hero fish can fetch $200. The romance is real, and so is the brutal math nobody films. You hand change water in dozens of jars daily, and most of a rare spawn turns out plain and worth $5. Real math. Startup is $400 to $900. A spawn tank, conditioning tanks, 30 to 100 jars for the aggressive males, a brine shrimp hatchery, and the hidden cost, genetics. A quality imported show pair from Thailand runs $50 to $200 per fish plus shipping, because the headline prices only attach to top-tier imported lines. Ongoing is $40 to $120 a month. Live food, conditioner, electricity to heat 30 to 100 vessels, and shipping supplies. The honest year one net is rough, roughly minus $50 to plus $150 a month, frequently a loss once genetics, food, electricity, and shipping are counted. A spawn yields 60 to 300 eggs, but only 30 to 40% reach saleable adults, and most of those are call grade, worth $5 to $15, with only a handful hitting the 30 to 60 plus range. An established breeder with proven lines can eventually clear a few hundred to $1,000 a month, but that is years in, not a beginner number. Your two buyers? Aquabid.com, the real auction marketplace where bettas sell from $4 to $50 plus, and Facebook betta groups for direct sales. The big importers like Nice Betta Thailand are your competition and your stock source, not your customers. The landmine? Those $200 headline prices only apply to top-tier Thai genetics, and you cannot truthfully promise a buyer a hero fish from random fry. Plus, live shipping is unforgiving. A failed heat pack or a buyer not home means a dead-on arrival, and your live arrival guarantee makes that your loss. On legality, the sharp edge. Transgenic glowfish bettas are banned in California. Do not breed or ship GMO lines there. And USPS allows live fish only via priority with weather limits. Correct the hype directly. A spawn of 60 to 300 yields 20 to 70 adults, mostly calls worth $5 to $15, not four figures. Realistic year one solo result is break even or a small loss. Check your city, HOA, and state. Number 3. Number 3. Axolotls, the smiling aquatic salamanders in designer Morphs, GFP, copper, melanoid, that a beginner here sell for $150 each. The surface story is, lays 500 eggs, do the math. The honest version is why this ranks third, not first. The market is chronically oversupplied, and the legal map is a minefield. Real math. Startup is steep and honest, $700 to $1,800 for one breeding pair, a cycled tank, grow-out tubs, and the unavoidable line item, a chiller at $150 to $400 if your room runs warm. Ongoing is $25 to $45 a month per tank, spiking to $80 to $150 during a clutch when 100-plus hatchlings need live food and daily water changes. The honest monthly net for a solo beginner in year one is $0 to $300 and often net negative after the first clutch. One clutch a year might yield 150 to 250 saleable juveniles, but common morphs move for $20 to $40, slowly, locally, in ones and twos. The premium morphs at 150 plus are where money is, but a beginner rarely produces clean, documented premium lines for 1 to 2 years. Your two buyers: morphmarket.com, the dominant amphibian marketplace with a live arrival guarantee, and local pickup at aquarium shops and reptile expos, your most reliable beginner channel because it sidesteps shipping legality entirely. Now the load-bearing legal landmine, and this is why it ranks third. Axolotls are outright illegal to own in California, New Jersey, Maine, and Washington, D.C. New Mexico and Hawaii require a permit. And the federal Lacey Act Injurious Species Rule, finalized January 2025, bans importing axolotls into the U.S. and bans shipment from the mainland to D.C. or territories without a federal permit. You can never honestly say ships nationwide. You must geogate every sale. The husbandry landmine. Hatchlings bite off each other's limbs if housed together, so a 300-egg clutch forces dozens of separate containers. And they need 60 to 68-degree water, so one hot weekend with a failed chiller can kill an entire room at once. Correct the hype. Rare morphs shipped nationwide for easy high-ticket income is two lies. You legally cannot ship to those banned states, and a beginner mostly produces common babies worth $20 to $40. Check your city, HOA, and state. Number 2. Number 2. Crested geckos. Hardy, quiet little lizards in designer lines, lily white and harlequin, that headlines say sell for $200 a month and up. They earn the number 2 slot on space and simplicity. No live feeders, no heat lamps. But the catch is time. The money is real, seasonal, and lands a full year plus after you start. Real math. Startup is $500 to $1,200, and the real cost is stock. A proven lily white or harlequin female runs $250 to $600. So a 1 male, 2 female trio is $650 to $1,400. Ongoing is genuinely low, $15 to $40 a month all in, because Crested Gecko Diet is a cheap powder that is the entire diet. No live feeder colony, no heat lamp, no UVB. They thrive at room temperature. The honest monthly net for a solo beginner is $80 to $250, but that is an annual number divided by 12. The cash arrives in a seasonal lump, not monthly. A realistic first selling year is 2 or 3 proven females producing 6 to 10 sellable hatchlings each, so you move 12 to 25 babies a year. Most sold unsexed at $65 to $150, not the headline morph prices. That nets roughly $1,000 to $2,500, $80 to $200 a month averaged. Your two buyers: morphmarket.com, the dominant reptile marketplace with overnight shipping norms, and Repticon, the national chain of reptile expos where you rent a vendor table. The landmine is the timeline. A female lays just 2 eggs per clutch every 30 to 45 days, only during a 6-month season. Then each hatchling needs 6 to 12 months to reach sellable size and 12 to 18 months before you can sell it as a sexed adult at premium prices. So the first real cash from a trio can be a year to 18 months out. Then it lands in a summer to fall cluster, then nothing. Anyone needing predictable rent money will be blindsided. Legality is friendly. No permit in nearly every state. Sites exempt as captive bred, but Hawaii bans them outright, and selling over 25 reptiles a year can trigger a state breeder license. Correct the hype. Lily whites sell for 150 to 800 each is true only for proven sexed adults. The babies you actually produce are unsexed hatchlings starting at 65 to 200. And you only reach the high end if you own extreme genetics and hold the animal 12 to 18 months. Check your city, HOA, and state. Number 1. Number 1. Ball python morphs. The mid to high tier genetics where a single elite snake can sell for $10,000. This is the one I would start tomorrow, and not because of that number. It is the strongest spare room fit of anything on this list. Silent, odorless, the highest value per square foot you can keep. The honest catch is patience. The money is lumpy, slow, and years out. Real math, and this is capital intensive up front, so I will not soften it. A realistic start is $2,000 to $6,000 because the breeder stock is the line item. A proven visual female can run $500 to $2,000 plus, true high-tier females far more. Plus a rack, a quality thermostat you do not cheap out on, and an incubator. Ongoing is modest, about $200 to $400 per snake per year. So a spare room colony of 10 to 20 animals runs $40 to $120 a month, mostly frozen rats and a little electricity. Ball pythons eat only every 1 to 2 weeks, so feed cost stays low. The honest solo beginner net is roughly -$50 to +$300 a month, averaged over the first 3 to 4 years, often near break-even while you wait. Here is why. You buy breeders, then wait 2 to 3 years before the first clutch. You get one clutch of about 6 eggs per female per year. And punnet odds mean most hatchlings from a mid-tier pairing are low-value normals worth $50 to $150. A good year for a few proven females might gross a few $1,000s seasonally, but spread across 12 months and net of food and unsold animals, sustained $500 a month is uncommon for beginners and not guaranteed any year. The ceiling is real but lumpy and slow, a multi-year compounding project, not a salary. Your two buyers, Morph Market, the world's largest reptile marketplace with 29,000 plus ball pythons listed, and in-person expos run by Repticon, cash sales, no shipping, great for moving normals. The landmine is timeline and odds together. A clutch comes once a year, hatchlings take 2 to 3 years to mature, so your money is locked up for years. And the genetics are probabilistic per egg. A $5,000 pairing can throw a tub of mostly normals. Never advertise a clutch as guaranteed to produce a specific morph. And the morph market deflates. Today's $700 gene can be a $150 gene in 2 seasons as breeders flood it. Legality. Legal in most states with no permit, but New York City bans all pythons, and shipping is overnight FedEx or UPS only with safe temperature windows. Correct the hype. Buy a banana ball python and flip $5,000 a year from one snake? Ignores that co-dominant genes average 50-50 per egg, so one pairing yields maybe 3 sellable combos and 3 normals, after you waited years for her to reach breeding size. Check your city, HOA, and state. So how do these 9 actually stack in one spare bedroom, and in what order? Build from the bottom up, because the cheap, fast animals fund the slow, expensive ones. Start with the feeders, springtails, hornworms, on a single shelf. Low startup, cash in weeks. And they literally feed your reptiles, cutting your own ongoing cost. Layer in the mantis shelf next for per unit margin. Those bottom 5 are pocket money each, real money stacked. Then with that cash flow covering food and electricity, you grow the slow earners, Finches, Bettas, Axolotls, Crested Geckos, whose money lands seasonally a year out. The ball pythons go last because they lock up the most capital for the longest. Here is the honest framework. Stacking cuts your cost. It does not erase it. Shared shelving, shared heat, feeders you grow yourself, that is what turns 9 break-even hobbies into one $5,000 aggregate at a built-out stage, after years, not month 1. Build the order, not the dream. That ranking is my honest read, but the one I would actually start with tomorrow is number 1, ball pythons, for the value per square foot, as long as you have the patience for the multi-year wait. If a single animal on this list surprised you, or if you would rank them differently, tell me in the comments, because the people raising these in their actual spare rooms keep me honest, and the comments here are some of the best research I get. If you found the real math useful, the modest numbers, and the legal landmines nobody else says out loud, subscribe, because that honesty is the whole channel. Next video, I am taking the single best earner here and going deep. The real build order, the real first-year numbers, and the mistakes that cost beginners their whole first clutch. Check your city, your HOA, and your state first. Then build slow.